Okay, okay, so take reference from that. Okay, some of you never write your statements. Okay, let's say for example, let x be what. Okay, so those kind of statements are necessary, and some of you are not forming equations itself. Okay, so please take a look at the solutions and do your own corrections. Okay, then for exercise 5C, okay, generally when it comes to substituting and all that, it is okay. However, just a point to note, okay, regarding common mistakes. Okay, I need the question 3 as homework, right? Yeah, not exercise 5C. There was question 3, right? A very common mistake that many of you made. Okay, first of all, regarding presentation, when given a formula, write it in full. Okay, then the question said that x equals to 2, y equals to -1, and z equals to -3. So, okay, y is -1. The brackets should be placed on the outside of -1 and the square on the outside of the brackets. Minus away, x is 2, z is -3, followed by 5 at the denominator. Okay, so this should be the replacement of values, okay, the step itself. And then finally, in your final answer, what do we get? Sorry, I forgot what's the answer. What's the answer? 7/5. Okay. 1 plus 6 is 7/5. Okay, so we get 7/5. Otherwise, you can write it as mixed number, 1 and 2/5. That's also possible. Or else decimal 1/4. They're all the same. Okay, so do take note about that. Then, when it came to the other question, okay, I gave you the next question is 11, right? Or is it 6? Sorry. Okay, question 6. K equals to P plus 2Q over 3. So K equals to 7. And then Q equals to 9. So please present it in such a manner where you write down the formula first, and then after that K is 7, Q is 9, replace accordingly. Okay? I notice that some of you like to do very loose calculation. You all like to do 7 times 3, okay, equals to 21, and 21 minus 18 equals to 3, and then P equals to 3, something like that. Okay? This itself is not a good presentation at all because it doesn't explain to the examiner, okay, your thought process over why you're doing all these steps. Right? So we want to go about doing this by balancing of equation, whereby I'm cross multiplying or bring this 3 over, so 7 times 3. Okay, and get this, so 21 equals to P plus 2 times 9 is 18. Okay? Followed by 21 minus 18 equals to P, which explains why P eventually is equals to 3. Okay, so please give me proper presentation. Never have I taught you all in this manner. Okay, so please don't do this, alright, presentation wise. Okay, then the remaining questions, okay, for example, question 13, which I did go through in class already. Okay, the formula itself, we need to let S be the sum. Okay, and X or N, okay, whatever letter that you chose. Yes, okay, so this statement itself is very often missing even when you did your corrections. Okay, then after that we calculate out what is S. So S equals to all the sum things up. Okay, I think that's 5x plus 20. Okay, so please be very careful and take note of your presentation. I really cannot emphasize more on that. Okay, so that is for chapter 5 homework. For exercise 7A and 7B, right? Okay. For 7A, generally, I don't see much of a problem. Okay. Problem is likely unique to certain individuals only. Okay. I want to talk more about exercise 7B instead. Okay, so for exercise 7B, right? Okay, for example, in question 1, okay, some of you give very lazy kind of drawing. Okay, so question 1. Figure 5, please make sure that you show me very clear intersection of the circles. There should be 5 circles. Okay, and then please label figure 5. Okay, likewise for figure 6 also. There isn't a need to go and label the 4 intersections part. Okay, we are looking at just the figure itself, showing me clearly like that will be good enough. Okay, some of you draw it such that they are just like that, it's inconsistent. Okay, so let's be very precise. Okay, in our drawing, it's a very simple question. Okay, so let's not be lazy. Okay, then part 2, when it comes to completing the table, the question specifically say copy and complete the table. Some of you don't know how to copy. Okay, the table itself is all over the place. The worst is no table, just numbers. Okay, so part 2. Also, for figure number n, what the number of intersections should be is actually going to be n-1. Okay, so some of you are not able to get that formula out. Okay, so if you are still struggling with number pattern question, please do let me know and see me about it. Okay. Then for question 2. Okay, the question asks, will there be a figure in the sequence that has 2,400 small triangles? Okay, in part I itself, you would have noticed that for figure number n, the number of small triangles will actually be n plus 1 bracket squared. Okay, so this is the formula that we have from part I, okay, for the general term. In part 4, since the question asks, will there be a figure in the sequence that has 2,400 small triangles? There are some who realize that in order to have the number of small triangles, it must be a perfect square. Okay, but that concept itself, that way of answering doesn't apply to all, okay, kind of questions. So actually you want a foolproof way of answering is just to take n plus 1 squared, equate it to 2,400, which is the number of triangles that are given. Okay, so some of you have very bad presentation. You don't give me this equation at all. You directly square root 2,400. Okay, and when you directly square root 2,400, there isn't that n at all, and then it compromises your final sentence itself. Okay, so n plus 1 equals to square root 2,400. Okay, and what would that approximately be? Square root 2,400. That is about 48.989. Okay, but that is not all, because you're trying to determine the value of n. So complete that step. Okay, and we get 47.989. Okay, only here we know that why is it that we are trying to arrive at this step? It is because n itself, okay, is the term number. Okay, n refers to the term number. And for term numbers, okay, they must always be whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, if you leave it at this step itself, it's not complete because this is not a term number at all. Okay, it's just n plus 1. Okay, it's not meaningful. Alright, so you need to arrive at the term number, which is 47.989. Okay, and then you conclude to say that since n is not a whole number, therefore, there is no pattern or there is no figure with 2,400 small triangles, right? show you what some of your friends write. Okay. Some of you just give me 2,000, square root 2,400 about 48.989. Okay, and then you say the result is not a whole number. Okay, thus no such figure. Okay, I don't find this a good solution at all because first of all, you do square root 2,400. My first question is why you do that? Okay, there's no clear understanding over why are we doing that? Why are you doing that? Okay, so that's the first problem. Second problem is that you talk about the result. So what is this result? Okay, what is you are not interpreting what this result means. Okay, you're just telling me the result is not a whole number. I can obviously see that it's not a whole number. Okay, so I didn't need you to tell me that this is not a whole number, right? Okay, so you need to go and interpret it for me. Okay, it's very different from telling me since n is not a whole number. N itself has a meaning, okay, attached to it, and that is a term number. Right? So that's why I want you to actually write answers in this manner. So I don't understand why is it that you like to fall short of the expectation that I've written out in the class itself. Okay? So the things that I give in class is really the minimum, the expectation. Right? So I shouldn't be getting you to go below the expectation at all. Alright? So this is not sufficient. Okay? And so I hope that I'm clear about that. Okay, then for question 3, same issue, okay, when it comes to part 4. Okay, so use the same method, same way of presenting in order to arrive at your answer. Okay, questions? Alright, so bring your file back home, bring it back on Friday. Okay, then now we'll get back to our percentage, okay? Represents how many percent if this is 100%? 85%, right? Okay, so this will have to be 85. So, therefore, 85% is $86,700. And then 100% will be 86,700 divided by 85 times 100. And we will get $102,000. So value in 2019 will be 102,000. Okay. And then we recalibrate again. Since we know this is $102,000, we are trying to find out what is 2018. Okay. But this cannot be 100% anymore because the percentage change is such that this is supposed to be my base value of 100, and this 102,000 will have to now be my 85%. Okay, so 85% is 102,000. Now going in reverse to find out 100%. And we will get $120,000. Okay, questions? Right, so chapter 8.2 we are done with it. Okay, homework for exercise 8B, please do question 11, 12, 14 as well as 16. Okay, so this is in your textbook, page 21 to 23. Okay, we shall be due on Friday. Right. So now move on to the next section of your chapter 8. So could I clear this out? Okay, for chapter 8.3, we're looking at percentages in real world context. Okay, I hope that at this juncture you see the relevance in learning percentage. Okay, we definitely see a lot of percentage around us in our day-to-day life. Okay, can you tell me one example of when you see percentages? Huh? Interest rate, discount. Okay, so yes, all these are real-world applications. Okay, and we need to be very familiar with them. Okay, so which explains why, okay, chapter 8.3 we're looking at percentages in real-world context. Let me just erase this. Okay, so now we will be looking at 4 main contexts itself. So please copy this down, okay, as I speak. First one is profit and loss. Okay, I don't think it is unfamiliar to you for these terms. Profit is generally the amount of money you earn, okay, after paying for your business expenses. Let's say you pay for your manpower, your rental, and all that. So how much money do you have left? Okay, so that is your profit. Okay, then for loss is when your cost price, okay, the amount of money that you pay to hire people to rent the place is more than, okay, how much you're actually receiving at the end. Okay, so that is when you make a loss. Alright, I'll give you a moment to copy this first. Okay, give you a minute before I talk more about it. give you 2 minutes to calculate already. Okay, I'm going to start talking. Alright, so profit and loss, okay, you need to understand what it means. You will not be tested on definition of course. It's really just for your notes. Okay. Other important words that you need to recognize is words such as selling price and cost price. Okay, so what exactly is selling price and what exactly is cost price? Okay, selling price is, for example, the price that you see, okay, on the price label, okay, when you buy something. So for example, you go and buy your fruits outside in the supermarket, okay, they will have a label there, okay, that will be what constitutes as selling price. Okay, cost price itself is the amount of money, okay, that the seller has to pay in order to get the goods to sell to you. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to sell banana cakes. Okay, so what do I need to sell banana cakes? What must I buy first? What kind of materials? I need bananas, right? Okay, so therefore the price of the bananas that I buy, okay, will constitute as cost price, okay, to my eventual product. Okay, so my banana cake itself, let's say I sell at $5. When I buy my bananas at $1, okay, my selling price is $5, my cost price is $1. Okay, and in this case, I'm making a profit. Okay, then for loss itself is definitely when your selling price is more than, okay, your cost price. Okay, so it will be a negative profit. Okay, but in this case, your cost price minus the selling price will give you the loss amount. Okay, because money is eventually positive in value. Okay, but cost price being more than the selling price will end up giving you your loss. So for example, I buy my bananas at $1, and then because I want to clear the stock, otherwise my banana cakes are going to expire, so I sell it at 50 cents instead. Okay, so I make a loss of 50 cents, right? So that is your profit and loss. For discount, okay, like what Hwk Ch was saying, okay, it is a deduction from the usual cost of something. So let's say I originally sell my banana cake at $5, okay, and then I give a discount to sell at 50 cents instead. So I gave a $4.50 discount. Okay, so discount itself is actually a monetary value, $4.50. Okay, it is different from percentage discount, where percentage discount, as the word suggests, it is supposed to be a percentage. Okay, now what is mark price? Mark price will actually mean the original selling price. Okay, so you need to be aware what mark price actually means. Right, and sale price, like what the word already suggests, it is the price, okay, after discount. Okay, so let's be clear about all these terms because you will encounter them, okay, when you are looking at different questions itself. Right? Okay, I'll move on. Okay. Now the next two contexts we will be looking at is GST as well as commission. Okay, GST itself currently is 8%. Next year will be 9%. Okay, unfortunately that we are living in this era whereby our taxes are rising. Okay, why is it that we have to pay GST? It is because we need to, the government needs money, okay, in order to build infrastructures, for example, school buildings or even MRT lines for us. Okay, so that's why taxes are being collected. Right? Other kinds of taxes, are you all familiar what other taxes are there? Income tax, okay, and then we also have road tax. If your parents happen to drive a car, okay, we have to pay a road tax as well. Okay, then income tax is when even you earn money, you also have to pay taxes. Right? So the more money you earn, okay, the more tax you have to pay. Alright? So that is a personal responsibility for everyone. Okay, I think it's for Singapore citizens. I don't think PRs need to pay income tax. I'm not sure. Okay, so that is income tax, which we will cover when we reach our chapter 9. Okay. Last thing, commission. Okay, commission is the amount of money, okay, that an agent receives for helping you to example, alright, I don't know how many of you here, maybe you have a family member who buys or sells houses, or helps to actually buy or sell cars, or maybe insurance, financial policies and all that. Okay, so they are actually earning commission. Okay, so usually, if I'm not wrong, property agent, okay, receives about 1 or 2% from the selling price itself, okay, if they have helped you to sell the house. It can be quite a bit. Yesterday, I think one of my students said that his aunt earned $10,000 for selling one house. Okay, in case you think like, wow, such a lucrative business, okay, I need to give you a little bit of context. It's not that easy to sell a house, okay, because a house will take a few months in order to sell. So this $10,000 is actually for your few months of hard work. So actually 1 month you may not earn as much as $10,000, okay? So that is for commission. Right? Now let's move on to look at some question examples. Yes, some of you copy, let me give you a little bit more time. Percentage of the selling price. So the loss itself, what would it actually we are given that the cost price is $6,000 and it is sold for 5,000. Sorry? Yes, 6,000 minus 5,000, right? Okay, and that will give us $1,000. Okay, so the loss amount is $5,000. Okay, then we want to find out what is the percentage. So the required percentage, I'll just write here. The required percentage is now to take the loss as a percentage of the selling price. So it will be $1,000 over the selling price, which is, Jishin, what is the selling price? And then the opposite Jishin. Selling price is 5,000, okay, so it is being sold for 5,000, so recognize that this is the selling price, then times 100%, okay, and that would give us 20%, okay. Question 2a, it says that a gold chain which costs $500 is sold at a profit of 27% on the cost price. We want to find how much is the selling price itself. Okay, so since it says cost $500, that means this is the cost price. Okay, and the profit amount is 27% on top of the cost price. Okay, so the selling price itself will be how many percent eventually? Cost price will have to form our base 100%, including our 27% profit. Okay, so 100 plus 27, that will mean that our selling price is actually supposed to be 127%. Okay, so to find out what is our selling price, few ways that you could present your answer. Either you do 127%, which is 127 over 100 times $500, okay, and eventually get the answer of 635 after pressing your calculator. Otherwise, okay, you could also present it by thinking about it in proportion. 100% is your $500. We are trying to find 127%. So we take 500 divided by 100 followed by multiplying 127. You will get the same answer of $635. To conclude that the selling price equals to 635. So I leave it up to you what you prefer. Okay, either you think about it in such a manner or okay, you can write it out in such a manner. Okay? Next. Any question at this juncture? Okay. Next, for question 2b. $78,400 is being sold at a loss of 6% on its cost price. Okay, find its selling price. So the cost price itself forms our 100%. The loss is 6%. So now our selling price will be how many percent? How many percent is our selling price? Sorry? 94%, right? Okay, so 100 minus 6, we get 94%. Okay, so our selling price will be 94% times $78,400. Okay. points, right? Plus 5 and plus 5, right? Okay, so then we can find out our answer, which is 73696. Okay? Questions? Alright. Let's move on. Okay, let's take a look at example 17. Okay, we are example 17. No, I don't want to do practice now 17. Okay, now let's do practice now. Sorry, make me go. Okay, I erase this, yeah? Okay, so in question 1, it says that a shopkeeper gains 35% on the cost price by selling a smartphone for $1,280.50. Find the cost price of the smartphone. Okay, my question here is, this number over here, how many percent does this represent? Think about it. How many percent does $1,282.50 actually represent? Okay, calling out the name. Joshua. I think Elena is your last one. Do your standing was a bit staggered usually. Okay, but never mind, Elena, can you answer? How many percent does $1,282.50 represent? 135, right? So we need to be clear that this is your selling price. Okay, so your 135% represents your 1282.50. Okay, and what we're trying to find out is the cost price, which is 100%. Okay, so to find 100%, you will take 1282.50 over 135 times 100. Okay, such that we will eventually be getting 128.5 $950. Okay. Alternatively, maybe if you wanted to present it in this way, you could actually find out what is the cost price by saying that we're finding 100 out of 135 times 182.50. Okay, and then we will get the same value of 900. Okay. So I leave it up to you whether you want to present it in such a manner or in such manners. Okay, I'm okay with both because both are acceptable. Okay, one last question. Question 2. A shopkeeper buys 1,800 eggs at $1.20 per dozen. 5% of the eggs are rotten and cannot be sold. We want to find the selling price of each egg if he wants to earn a 33% profit on the cost price. Okay, so there are 1,800 eggs. Okay, and it is being bought at $1.20 per dozen. What does a dozen represent? 12, right? Okay, so 12 eggs. Okay, this will help us to find out what is the cost price. Right, cost price of your 1,800 eggs. Okay, then the question says that 5% of the eggs are rotten, cannot be sold. Okay, find the selling price of each egg if you want to earn a 33% profit on the cost price itself. Okay, so we can find out how many eggs he or she eventually managed to sell. So what we will do, erase this part, yeah. First we find out what is the cost price. Okay, because it is $1.20 for 12 eggs and we have a total of 1,800. you can take $1.20 divided by 12 to find the price of 1 egg first, followed by multiplying with 1,800. Okay, so that will actually be, I think, 1 cent. Okay, divided by 12, 10 cents, right? 10 cents times 1,800, we will get $180. Okay, number of eggs being sold, or maybe number of eggs that would be sold, will be 95% of the eggs. So we find the number of eggs first. So 95% of your 1,800, you will get 1710 eggs. Okay. Now because you want to earn a 33% profit on the cost price, okay? So that means that the total money that he wished to receive that will have to be 133% of your cost price, $180. Profit. So the selling price of each egg will have to be 239.40 because that's the amount of money that he wishes to receive. But he can only receive it when he sells 1,710 eggs, okay, instead of 1,800